seriously, stop, you're freaking us out. And I was like, but I want to know my movie. And they were like, we will block. I was like, I'm a director, I want to know my movie. And they're like, we're going to block you, you're freaking, seriously, we're going to get a police order. Eventually, I got a call from Emily and it was like, I understand you've emailed me 666 times, what do you want? And I said, please watch Repo. And about 2 days later, she calls me back and she said, I just watched Repo with the girls, I'm in. And
yes!
It was, it kind of changed my life at that point. Because not only do I have respect for her as an artist, but as a person. And I think that those that have had a chance to meet Emily and see her interaction with other artists, with fans, with everyone like that, I've never met a cooler, more down-to-earth, passionate artist. And thank you for being in the movie. Thank you for inspiring me. Thank you for being a badass. You seem to me as a director, you're always on. There's a lot of times that when the camera passes by an actor, unless they're in a close-up, they're not acting. You were always on, 100% of the time. How is it taking you this long to get into acting? I mean, you're such, you radiate. And to me, aww, you're going to be in every movie that I ever do from this point on.
Wow, I do. I love you so much. Oh, that was incredible. Thank you. I hope you meant that. Because you're going to be in every movie I do from now on. Isn't that a funny thing? And every musical as well. Right? Can I say that? All right. I think you know what I'm talking about, yes?
Oh yeah!
London's West End, 2014, right? Boom. There's your man. So, this long into acting, because I've been a little bit busy, some of you may know that, I don't know, we've done a lot together. So, yeah, I've been very, very busy creating my own world, our own world, darling. We know each other, by the way. Is that weird? Isn't that a coincidence? I know you. I know you know me. We know each other. Let's dance. And then make out. Okay. You know what goes on in the back of the bus. And I will tell you one thing that we have never talked about in any interview. I'm sorry I'm doing this. She's here. Okay, God. I'll shut up after this, I promise you. So, who would you say that I have made out with the most out of all the bloody trumpets? Right? Yup. And it was good. So, acting. Been busy trying to create my own reality, and this was something that I completely related to because it's exactly what you and Terrence and everyone else are trying to do. So this was the first thing that ever even seemed remotely appealing, and I wanted to be a part of it much more than just as the painted doll. This character. Oh, I love it. But I wanted to actually support you and the project because I realized this is exactly how I go about what I'm doing, is that there's no outside funding, there's no PR person, there's no anybody that actually makes any of what we do happen except for us. And that's exactly what I realized that you were doing, and so from very, very early on, and I didn't even realize that nobody else was connected to it, but I'm honored to be the very first because that just tells me that I actually made the smart decision in I just wanted to support you as friends and lovers. So thank you very much for stalking me so well. I appreciate that. So can I be in episode 2?
Yes.
So last but certainly not least, Joseph Bashara. Who not only produced Repo's soundtrack, the Devil's Carnival soundtrack, countless other awesome horror film soundtracks. for those of you that don't know, horror fans in the audience, he also has turned actor on us. And is the lipstick demon in Insidious. He's responsible for nightmares worldwide. But a dream, Joseph Bashara, a dream to some, a nightmare to others. We met him on Repo, and we knew with Repo the extent of music and music styles in that opera was going to require a music producer that was a fucking badass. You know, was able to wrangle everything we needed to do within the confines of budget and the time we had. And we met with a lot of people. We met with rock stars that had Grammy Award-winning albums that they produced. We met with a plethora of people. And Joe came in, and immediately we knew, like, there's something going on here. Firstly, he was the only one that, he may have been high, but he was the only one that didn't seem high when he came in. So hence the acting that later followed. No, but in all honesty, Joe is a part of the family, and he's been part of the core team that's been making the Devil's Carnival happen for the last 2 years. So, as someone who works in the horror genre, composing and producing, acting, what was it like to switch over to the Carny genre, which is all horns and strings and devilishness?
Well, hi everyone. Well, the Carny genre, it's a fun genre, obviously. It's a fun world to play around in, but it's, well, let's use, I mean, seeing these things develop, like Repo, like this, where there's so many strands to it, there's so many characters that have a lot going on, a lot of detailed backstories, things they do that aren't really conventional, like in normal dramatic narrative filmmaking. So when we start early on, like we're sitting in a bar, it's usually a bar, and a couple of drinks later, it's usually mouth trombone or tuba coming out of Terrence, and then but you hear about these characters, and it's hard to really see where it's going to end up. So the cool part is really watching these things develop from just a strand of an idea to a finished thing. Like an example, I'll use Mark Center. Oh, there you are. Like, he hasn't sang before. This guy's not a singer, but he turned in one of my favorite vocal performances on the album. So hearing about the character, hearing it's like, okay, it's like a 50s badass guy, but you picture a lot of things when you hear that. You don't necessarily picture a rubber pompadour and Mark Center. So kind of watching that develop from coming in, singing it, figuring out how it's going to go, to making a call like where he kind of giggles. Like, these are decisions that are made before it's even shot. So that's really the coolest part, is seeing it develop from an idea to a finished thing.
Guys, I want to end the night with two statements. First off, thank you for bearing with us, and thank you for listening to this and watching this and being here and being a part of this. Two things. Number one, how we're able to do this, and we want to continue to make these. As I mentioned before, episode 2 is written. We have already started episode 3. So this is our last stop. We ask if you guys liked the music, if you liked what you saw. This is our Kickstarter. We're doing it right here, and you guys are part of it. Pick up a soundtrack, pick up a poster, pick up a t-shirt, because that's what's funding us to be able to make part 2. We're never going to do a Kickstarter. You guys are part of it here. That's number one. Number two, we don't have a massive production company or a PR company behind us that are taking out billboards, ads, and posters. We have you guys, the audience. And so I encourage you, when you guys leave here tonight and get to work tomorrow and do whatever, you talk about what you saw. You don't have to love it. If you hated it, say we're douchebags. Say you hate me and the thing was terrible. But just talk about it. If you liked it, talk about that, because you guys are our PR team. Just like what you did with Repo. You took a movie that was destined for failure in 2 theaters and made it what it is right now. So we hope you guys like this and you'll do the same thing for this. Thank you guys very much.